Hello, everyone. I am Adam with Demiplane, and thank you for joining me for this week's development update and community Q&A session. This week is going to have plenty of time for questions, so as always, you can ask those in chat starting now by simply typing question in front of the question. I don't think you need the colon, but you might want to put a colon in there too. So question, colon, ask the question, and then we have something collecting all of those from chat. So you can start asking those right away. We're going to have plenty of time for them in our brisk 30 minutes today. So definitely get those started. We're also going to talk about latest updates and then what is on the horizon for Demiplane. We have so many fun things going on. It is such a joy to come into the virtual office every single day and work on what we get to work on. And we are so grateful to fans out there who play these games that allow us all to be able to do that. And so latest updates, pending rulebook and Lost Omen releases. So I'm going to give an update on that. Pathfinder Nexus early access roadmap. And then we have a really interesting show that is kicking off called Children of Errata. We have an episode 0 for that tonight, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. So latest updates, work in progress right now. We have Pathfinder content, several parts of activity going on here. And so first of all, Errata Updates. So we are scouring all of the content that we have currently released to make sure that we have the latest, greatest versions of those. Because as you can imagine, as we got, how many is it now? 20 whatever we have released out there, books. There were so many files being transferred back and forth that we might not have got the latest. So we are going through and scouring all of that errata and making sure that everything is up to date, because that is a big time commitment for Pathfinder Nexus. Everything will always be up to date. And so the team is pushing through on that this week. And so one of the significant changes that I know that we have reflected in there now is the Alchemist medium armor proficiency. So those kinds of things before the end of this week, all of that errata should be caught up for rule books, and then through next week at least, through all the way through the Lost Omens content that we have in place. So all up to date here within the next week or two. And then we have a couple of new really interesting books. I got a little bit of a peek inside some of the other fun that is surrounding this Book of the Dead, and in addition to the book itself. And let me tell you, it is going to be incredible. First of all, possibly one of the greatest covers I have ever seen for a tabletop role-playing book. And it just keeps getting better from there. You open the cover and everything inside. It is such an interesting supplement, and I can't wait for that one to land. Next month is when that one is coming, I believe. And so now that we have caught up with rule books and all of the Lost Omens content, we are going to be keeping that up to date for the street date releases for all of these products. And so as these books are released to the public, they will be released the same exact day here on Pathfinder Nexus. And so we are making sure that for those soon coming books that the team is pausing some of the work on adventures to make sure that that commitment to have all of those released on the street date, that we follow through on that commitment. So working on those, and again, very excited for both of these products. As I was looking across the entire year, these are certainly among my favorites. I also am pretty partial to this dark archive content that is going to introduce possibly one of my favorite classes in anything that I ever play. So looking forward to that later this year. But these two are going to be great, and they're going to be released again on the street date for when they come out. And then adventures content, we are into. I have seen maybe 3 or 4 of these that are in a really advanced state. And so as these adventures become available, we are going to be working on getting those out to you. We are starting with standalone adventures and one shots, and then we're going to get into tackling adventure paths after that. Another thing that I don't have listed here on the screen, but that you can know about, is we are starting to work on bundling. So we will have bundles available for rule books. We will have bundles available for Lost Omens content. We'll have bundles available for adventures. And then we will have an ultimate bundle that is going to collect every single thing, every single bit of Pathfinder content. And so if you want to go completely all in, you will be able to do that with the bundle. And we will share more specifics on how the bundles are going to work really soon here. But with the bundles, you can know that you're going to get a discount on what is currently in that bundle, and then it will have a future looking discount for any products that would be added into those bundles. You would be able to pick those up at kind of an ongoing discount as that happens. So you might have heard my air conditioner kick on, and I'm sorry about that because it's very hot where I am right now, way hotter than it should be for this time of year. So apologies if that came through, but trust me, it is for my safety of not melting in my office here. All right, so after that, we also are working on the character game engine. And so this is a really, really important step. I mentioned last week that as we have gotten our digital reader out and we are getting the game compendium is now out and in everyone's hands, we will certainly be adding more content to the reader. We will be adding other types of game elements into the game compendium, but the features themselves are in a state that of readiness for us to move forward to do those activities as we get ready for launch. And we are really shifting some attention into character management, which of course is that third phase of early access. And it's what a lot of us, myself included, have been waiting on. And so this is really exciting for us as the team. And we're starting to build out some of the core rules and the foundation of what is needed here inside this character engine. And we're going to share more about how that character engine works in the future. But the thing that I'm excited about, in my former life, I made some character creation tools that have been pretty well received out there. It's always great to be able to reapproach something with the benefit of hindsight. And so that is one of the things that is really exciting as we are starting to dive into character management for Pathfinder, but also thinking about it for all of the other incredible games that we are going to support. This is going to be a really flexible, really powerful system. And again, I can't wait to reveal more of that, but we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for us to be able to do it. But know that the work is starting to go on here, that there is actual stuff being done behind the scenes. It might be a little while before we can show you what all of that stuff means, because in its current state, it maybe doesn't mean a lot if we showed you. But from a development standpoint, it's really exciting to see all of that start to come together. And then Children of Errata, this incredible new fairy tale for grown-ups from the mind of Deborah Ann Wall. We are going to have an episode 0 tonight. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that episode 0 and show you a little bit of the agenda here. And so we're going to talk about the show schedule and the format, everything that's happening in the show. So we'll do a full rundown on how which weeks we're going to stream, how that's going to work. We're going to talk about are 20s or 1s going to do anything to impact the game. Spoiler alert, they're not. But we have some other great things that we're going to talk about that are going to be some ways for the audience to engage in what's going on with the show, what to expect from the world, what to expect from the characters, puzzles and some clues. If you have ever seen Deborah talk about playing any of these games, she really appreciates and enjoys puzzles, and I appreciate and enjoy watching her do these puzzles. And so it's going to be a ton of fun to play through that. And so we're going to talk about a little bit of that, the play style and tone, and then finally some house rules that she has that we're all very excited about as players. So we'll talk through all of that with the audience, and then you'll be able to ask questions tonight just like you can here during this dev update. And both I and Deborah will be there to answer any questions that pop up tonight. So join us at 6 p.m. Pacific for the Children of Errata episode 0. And again, really looking forward to this. And the intent behind this episode 0 is just like you have a session 0, and that's becoming a more and more popular thing for groups to do. I encourage every group that's going to play these games to have those, because I have determined over my much longer than I would like to admit at this point lifetime that most problems in the world arise because of a misalignment of expectations. And so a session 0 is a great way to make sure that you and your players are completely on the same page with what to expect out of the campaign. And so we thought that it would be a great thing for us to also have this episode 0. We're not doing the session 0 part on a stream because we want a session 0 to be a really safe space. And by the way, this isn't a slant on any groups that are willing to do a session 0 on screen. That's incredible, and that's great. And it's wonderful that you feel that level of openness and comfort to be able to do it. But for our players, we wanted that to be private, and we wanted to be able to not be put on the spot with some of the discussions that we wanted to have for that session 0. But we wanted to have this episode 0 for the audience, where you also can you can have shared what's going to go on in the show. If you start asking us about what class a certain person is, we're going to have to tell you, watch and see, because there's going to be some mystery involved in what's going on in the show. And so all of those expectations, we want to get those out to you as part of this episode 0. So tune in tonight and hear from Deborah herself what is going to be happening with the show. Really looking forward to it. And then upcoming, so Pathfinder Nexus roadmap, as we went through last week, we have a digital reader and a game compendium now. As I said before, we're going to continue to add content there into the reader, into the game compendium as that content, because the game compendium will also be up to date with the content as we go forward. But then we are starting on the character management piece. I don't think it will be too terribly much longer before we're able to start showing off some early, design mocks and that sort of thing, because we would love to start getting a little bit of feedback from the community at those early stages, where we can make sure that we are making what the community is ultimately going to want and need to play the game and enhance those play sessions. So you will start to see behind the curtain a little bit here in the coming weeks, and keep you posted on that. And then the team is also working on one of the things that's really important for what Demiplaying is doing is we are going to be having multiple nexuses, I think is the plural of that. We go back and forth on that all the time internally. But all of these are going to be spinning up. And so another really big milestone for us is going to be kind of onboarding that next Nexus. And so we have Pathfinder Nexus, of course, but we have World of Darkness Nexus and Free League Nexus. And then there is another one that we just haven't been able to talk about now, that the team is actually working on now today to try to also spin it up. And so we're going to be able to share more on that soon, but we're really excited about it, and being able to have even the digital reader and game compendium support that we're seeing for some of these other games, as the character management piece is being worked on first for Pathfinder and then following up with these other games. It's really exciting to start to see that level of support coming to some of these other incredible games. So we'll keep you posted. Sorry for the tease there, but mainly putting that on there to say that the team is working on several of those fronts right now to make a really incredible experience come together for the entire platform, and across that entire platform. So all of that is coming together well, and we will keep you posted. And this is a great place to stay posted on that, our forums as well, Discord, any of the social media accounts. Follow us at all the places, subscribe, follow, like, subscribe, whatever the YouTubers say these days. Do all of those things and you'll be able to stay on the pulse of what's going on with Demiplane. All right, let's see any questions. I don't actually see any questions in here. Is it working, or does no one have a question? It might be that no one has a question. Everything that I shared was so crystal clear that, oh, okay, we've got a question now. So yeah, get those questions coming in if you have them. I see a few scrambling in now. So I'll stay around as long as I see them coming. So if you have a question, feel free to ask that here and we will jump in here. Phoenix D Black, something is different this week. New glasses. That's a very important question. So they're actually not new. I had a strange snafu this time with and it was all due to the pandemic. So I had purchased some glasses that then the pandemic happened and I didn't want to go in to pick them up. And they kind of closed down for a while. And so it was almost a year before I ended up going back for the glasses. Well, the doctor's office was very gracious about all of that and actually updated these new glasses to my new prescription, but then I also had other glasses that I was ordering. So I have 2 pairs of glasses, and I changed them based on my mood for the day today. And so no spoilers of any sort. But I guess I was feeling, a little Riddler this morning when I woke up. So I will be sure not to wear any plastic masks under these. But otherwise, I was in the Coke bottle mood this morning. So thank you for the question. All right, Decran82. Will GMs be able to share the online rule books with their players? Yes, content sharing is something that is very important to us and something that will be coming. And again, as far as sequencing goes here, know that it is very important, at least around launch. I think that if you ask me today, I would say that we would not launch without content sharing, but I also am going to reserve the right to say that, circumstances might make that make sense at some point, but right now it doesn't make sense to us. And so we would have content sharing in place before launch. And the way that would work is you have a low cost subscription, and then any type of books that you own, any sources across Pathfinder Nexus, but across anything that Demiplane is going to cover and support, all of those things, you would be able to share that with people in your groups. And so it's going to be an incredible value, an incredible deal. And I've seen that work very well in a former life. And we are absolutely going to have that here with what we're doing at Demiplane. Rex Verdi, can we look forward to more of the patented Adam wordplay with your new character? Always a highlight for me. So I think that, so talking about Children of Errata, Silas Jordan, what I can say is Silas is very much so a fan of so many things. And, Silas is an opportunity for me to play a character, since I like living on that fourth wall and just smashing it to bits a whole lot of the time. Silas is a character where, there really is no fourth wall in this game, because all of us are starting out in the world as we know it, right there. And honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen after that. And so Silas is going to know about Avengers Endgame. He's going to know about, he's going to know everything that we as fans and as geeks out there in the world today know. And so I don't really know exactly what's going to happen with Silas until I start playing him. But yeah, I imagine he is going to relish taking in any opportunity to joke or trick or aggravate or whatever that would be. All right, Decran82, do you take recommendations for other Nexus ideas? We absolutely will take those recommendations. I can tell you that we've talked to a lot of publishers out there, and what we have currently revealed is not everything that we have in our pipeline, because just the way that scheduling for announcements and that sort of thing happens. But if you want other types of Nexuses, then by all means let us know. Let us know in our forums. If there happens to be a publisher that we are not already working with, understanding that there's a demand for that is very helpful for us as we move forward and figure out what the rest of that pipeline is going to look like. All right, L10NJKR. I'm sure that is probably saying something. Lion Joker. I don't know. Anyway, sorry about that. But I see Pathfinder as the first Nexus. Then you stated World of Darkness Nexus. Is this the White Wolf books or different set of core books? Also, is that the second Nexus coming? So this is going to be, Paradox owns World of Darkness right now. And so World of Darkness Vampires in its 5th edition. So what we are doing with World of Darkness Nexus is going to be Vampire 5th edition. Also, I saw that they have just released a preview of Hunter the Reckoning. So Hunter the Reckoning is part of what we're doing there, as well as what they have announced is coming with Werewolf. And so all of the current iteration of World of Darkness is what is going to be happening in World of Darkness Nexus. And I can't say that that is the second Nexus coming. And the reason I can't say that is more because of there are a bunch of moving parts as far as like when things are going to land and when they're not. What I can tell you is that it is definitely among the first Nexuses that are going to come after Pathfinder Nexus. And so again, from a timing perspective, I can't quite narrow that down to whether it is going to be number 2 or 3 or 4. But again, we have several that are in flight and starting to onboard, and we'll share more details about that pretty soon. Cato Flex, what is your character's name in Children of Errata? It is Silas Jordan, and he also happens to coincidentally be a huge Michael Jordan fan, and so he likes his namesake there big time. He's a sneakerhead, so he owns a version of every single Jordan, Air Jordan that has ever been released. And so yeah, Silas Jordan is the character I am playing. You can ask a lot more of these kind of questions here tonight. Episode 0, 6 p.m. Pacific. Bunch of X's, which I believe is a framing mechanism, and then Madman. This is my first time hearing about Demiplane. I'm here as a fan of Deborah Ann Wall. Is it a Pathfinder module or something else? Great question. This is what is going to happen for Children of Errata, the show. This is going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. So 5th edition 5e D&D is what's going to be the game system that we're using for Children of Errata. But Demiplane ourselves is a company that is specializing in letting gamers discover games out there. So currently you can go on Demiplane and find people who are playing. I can't even remember how many we have on the list right now. It's at least, I think we have 100+ games on the list right now. It's probably higher than that at this point. But all sorts of tabletop role-playing games that you can find to play. But we are also starting to create official digital tool set support for a variety of really great games out there. Pathfinder, Nexus, we're calling those official tool sets Nexus, and Pathfinder Nexus is first, and then we have World of Darkness Nexus, and we have Free League Publishing is another Nexus that we're making. They make some incredible games. Alien, they have an upcoming Blade Runner game that's going to be really great. They have the what I really love, Forbidden Lands is an awesome game that Free League makes. So all of those are starting to come online, and again, we have several others that we haven't talked about yet, but we're going to talk more about those soon. Neurolancer, will all Pathfinder adventures come in a single block, or are they going to come in as they are done? If it is the latter, any sneak peek on which adventures are coming first? That's a great question, and this is sometimes something that I might not be ready to share yet, but I'm feeling a little squirrely today, so I'm going to let you in on the process. So for Lost Omens content, it wasn't necessarily our intent originally, but we did end up releasing all of those as a single block. And if for no other reason than to experiment, we are going to attempt to release the adventures as they are ready to go. And so I would not think that we are going to go through 2 more dev updates, possibly not even 1 more dev update before you see the first of those adventures released. And having said that, the first ones that we are focused on are the one-shots and the standalone adventures. So you will likely see those one-shots, if for no other reason than there's some low-hanging fruit. And so we're definitely going to get into those one-shots pretty quickly, but you will see those coming out, as soon as they are ready for, public eyes. We are going to attempt to release those. And, hey, if we get into that process and it's not working for us and it's not working for fans out there, then we will make adjustments. That is one of the reasons that early access is really important to us. And so we're going to continue down the path. But right now, the intent, the target is to release those as soon as they are available. And I'm going to not remember every specific name of all of those adventures, but I can tell you the one-shots and the standalone adventures are going to be the first things coming. And then as we start to get into adventure paths, right now the intent would be to do them in the order that they were released. And there are a couple of practical reasons for that, because one of the things is, as an adventure has been out longer, it has a greater chance of groups out there potentially running it. And so, it would help to get that. But then also as game elements, spells, items, so on, are released in those books, one of the things that we ran into with Lost Omens, and this is why we live and learn, is we did those out of order, out of release order. And then what would happen is we would get into a book and something needed to be tooltipped, and then we could not tooltip that because it had not been made yet because it was in another book. So if we do this in the order that they release, then we will also be able to make sure that we're covering all of that and not have to do some of the context switching that we had to do with Lost Omens. So there you got a little bit of a tour of the sausage factory there, but ultimately that is our current intent. And if we make adjustments to that, we will keep you posted there. Phoenix D. Black, will the adventure paths be released as a collection of the whole path or as separate books, or will it be separate books in bundles? Excellent question. And they will be released as separate books, but then you can buy the entire adventure path by itself. So Strength of Thousands, you can buy the individual, entries of that as a standalone purchase. You can buy Strength of Thousands as the entire adventure path, or you can buy a bundle that is all of the adventure paths, or you can buy the ultimate bundle that would include all of the adventures paths bundle and all the adventure paths therein. So there will be options really at every step of that hierarchy for you to get into. All right, I think I got through all of those questions. If there's a last one, it looks like I have 1 minute. So I'm going to give it, 10 seconds here. And if I see another question come in, I'll answer it. But otherwise, we are going to wrap up for the day. And I wonder, I probably have spoken for 6 seconds at this point. By the time I finish this sentence, that's probably going to be close to 10 seconds. And so there was one that came in just at the last. I mean, it was like a buzzer beater right there. Buzzer beater. All right, so let's see what we have here. Neurolancer, Kirk or Picard? Oh my goodness, you're trying to start wars and fights here this morning, and I don't know. It's just too early in the day for me to do this. I could wax poetic about both of them to an embarrassing degree. I appreciate both of the captains on so many different levels. And honestly, when I was a kid growing up with the Next Generation, it would have been Picard all day long, and it would have been a very, very easy choice. But when I was a young adult, I discovered the original series, and the original series had so much to appreciate. And so I would say Picard probably because again, just a lot of nostalgia with that, but then also Picard is incredible. But I have an incredible amount of respect for James T. Kirk. And then someone did not have a question, but I'll display it anyway. Malcolm Reynolds is the only captain. I also like Captain Mal. All right, that is all the time we have for today. Thanks everyone for joining me. Really do appreciate it. We appreciate all the help with early access for Pathfinder Nexus. We appreciate all of the support and the anticipation for Children of Errata. You can join us tonight for episode 0 to hear from Deborah herself on what's going on with the show, and I'm going to lead her through some questions. So if you have questions for Deborah, you can ask those tonight during that episode 0, 6 p.m. Pacific. We will see you there, or I will see you back here next week. Later, Gators.